When I retired from the public service on the 1st of January 1986, my wife and I went back to the village, and we spent a lot of our time there in our gardens and did a lot of other things for the communities. And that gave me an opportunity to have a look back at the public service at the time and the country as a whole. And I found that we were having a lot of problems even at that time. I began to think, what should I do? I'm only one person. Is there anything I can do to help? Then I started traveling again. And if some of you do not know, I have been to all the 7 continents on the surface of this globe. Maybe the first Papua New Guinea. We have heard from Professor Richard Tier. He said, we met for the first time in London in 2004, when I went there to meet the Queen, after I have just been elected by this Parliament to represent the Queen in Papua New Guinea. But I did not meet her first. The first person I met there when we arrived, and I was still a little bit asleep from the long journey, was this young man standing here, or sitting here, Richard Tier. And I told him a lot of things. One of the things I said was that I believe, and I can see that, is there a way we can do something to help the people in my country, more particularly the members of the public service? Because the public service to me at the time was deteriorating. We communicated by email all this time. And eventually, after a long time, we came back here, right to this place, when I launched the Global University for Lifelong Learning on the 5th of October last year. The support is there from the Prime Minister himself. He and I signed a statement of recognition for Global University for Lifelong Learning. Paul Jensen, Minister for National Planning, he supports us totally. But they're busy for the nation. I think we are here not only for the nation, but also for the Prime Minister of Australia came here this year. His first visit when he became Prime Minister. The first person he met and discussed things with was myself at Government House. We talked a lot about many things. We had only 20 minutes, but during those 20 minutes we covered a lot of subjects. Just before we finished, I said, Mr. Prime Minister, I want to tell you that I traveled with my wife around Australia by coach. And of course I've been to Australia many, many times. And some of the people I met, or we met, particularly in the Northern Territory, sitting there drinking from the morning till evening, and then the next day morning till evening, and they just go on and on, are the people from Australia. Is there a way we can do to help them? He sat there and listened, and then he said, have you got anything? And I said, we got some very, very interesting thing here we can share with you. We will be prepared to go down and help those people who are unfortunate, not only Aborigines, but other people as well, who may not have a chance to do things for themselves. He said, talk with the Australian High Commissioner, which we did, especially Professor Winston Jacob. And the discussion just went on, and eventually he went down to Canberra and to be with the Red Cross, because he's with the Red Cross also, but also with Global University. And then he went to Brisbane and did the same thing there. The interest. This year, we were in Tonga, and I was able to have breakfast with the heads of state in a number of Pacific countries, from Australia, from New Zealand, from Tonga, from the Cook Island, from the Solomon Islands, from Fiji, and I talked to them about Global University for Lifelong Learning. They were very keen. In fact, when I came back here, I started having communication with the New Zealand Governor General. And I'm very happy that his representative is here with us, of personal viability. That Sam and the other Sam, that like twins, eh? Started. I went to their course with my wife and other people in the best place in the country, but I'm not going to tell you which one. I think you know. And I was so impressed with the way the thing started. And I continued to support them from behind the scene. As you heard from Sam, the program has spread to all the 7 provinces, including this one, in Papua New Guinea. About 25,000 people have participated in the program. And you heard from him, they've gone to Honiara, the Solomon Islands. They've run a lot of programs there. In fact, one of the trainers is here sitting with us. And then down to Fiji and some other places in the Pacific. And then to South Africa. This, as we heard from Sam himself, that old man in Malaysia, he had never heard of anything to come from the East, apart from the 3 wise people from the East, as we heard about before. Now we have come to a very important time, the history in the making. This is going to be the world program. There is nothing in the world that is impossible to achieve. We can achieve great things if we do things right. Sure. And I think we are trying to do something right from now on. So many people do not understand this one as yet. It is now the responsibility of our group here to continue to educate Papua New Guineans and so that they become part of the program. You heard from these people that Global University is now in many parts of the world. Sit down. I want all of us to remember this. This is an initiative that will go from the east to the west and will go and cover the whole globe. And that is why we call one of these partners the Global University for Lifelong Learning, to assist those people who may not have the opportunity to better themselves in education and so forth. And Jesus himself said, nothing in the world is impossible to achieve. If what he said is true, then this partnership will achieve great things. And all the problems that we may face here, forget all those, we just move on, and we will be able to achieve a lot of good things, not for ourselves, but for the people whom we serve. Thank you so much for listening, and let me say this, all the best to the new partnership between our two organizations.